We intentionally made sure we were doing more date nights. We intentionally made sure that we had several vacations on the calendar for just the two of us.
And I wonder how many couples where they make the goal and the vision is to divorce once their kids go to college. If you started creating a vision of what your marriage and family would look like after that, like how many marriages could be saved?
Your blended family has a 100% chance of success when you do it God's way. We're Blended Kingdom Families, and we want to provide biblical resources to heal and restore families with a message of hope for the next generation.
Hey guys, welcome back to the BKF podcast. We are so excited you're here with us for Take 2, Part 2, Session 2 with Eric and Keisha Gomez, our dear friends. And we're going to be continuing our series. Last week we talked about sending your kids to college. So if you're in that boat, push pause now, go back, watch that, and then come back and join us. But we're just excited you're here. Don't miss an opportunity. Like, share, comment, all the stuff that I normally say at the beginning of our podcast. But I'm getting the eye roll from my wife, so it's time to get into it. So we are joined, Eric and Keisha. We're so grateful that you're here today. You guys are officially empty nesters.
We are.
Yes.
So I don't know if you're out there. We are not empty nesters yet.
We got a ways to go.
We got a ways. We're getting rid of one this year. So, yeah.
Offloading one.
So, burning question. What's it like being an empty nester?
It's fun.
Is it fun?
Yeah, we've passed, I think, the really hard part of adjusting, so now we're having fun.
Good. I was telling you guys a story before we started filming. There was a movie called Failure to Launch. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Matthew McConaughey. Anyway, Kathy Bates, Terry Bradshaw. And part of the movie is the son comes back after he finally leaves the house and it's like asking mom, like, hey, how are things going? And she's like, I'm scared. He has a naked room now. Like basically a room where he just sits naked and that's his thing. He sits in a recliner naked. So I thought, and that doesn't sound like half bad. I mean, it sounds okay. I mean, you're empty nesters. You don't have to lock the doors. You don't have to, you can walk around basically naked if you want to. I mean, there's all kinds of a world that exists here where no kids are around. Yeah. You could sleep. Sure. You can go to sleep. You can go out. You can go out of town. I'm just thinking of all the cool things you can do. There's
a lot of cool things. It's definitely one of those. You can walk around like when we have we had an 18-year-old daughter, so and our house always had people in and out of it, and so you did have to
always had a
shirt on. Always had from a guy's. I love walking around and just some good old briefs and just be cool. And so there's a little bit more of that. There's definitely you get used to it. You don't have to worry about doors.
Yep. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You can come in.
Just shut them.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. You can come in on a Saturday night and and have a good time from the front door all the way to the bedroom door. You don't have to worry about
stop in the kitchen and hang out there for a while.
Have a great time all the way through. So it's a lot different. And so it's exciting. Exciting.
Y'all find freedom in what you can go do, not just being in the house, but just being able to pick up and get in the car and leave and not have to worry about anything?
Yeah, definitely.
We I think we stay busy with work with XO. We travel quite a bit in this fall season with conferences and all. But when we're not, I mean, I'm on a softball league now. I've never played softball in my life, and I got an invite to play softball, and I was like, hey babe, what do you think? She was like, yeah. And so we're playing. I'm playing softball. She comes and roots me on. She has this little bitty. I don't even know.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Went from rooting for our kids to rooting for my husband.
Hey, there you go.
And
instead of not win, just don't get hurt. Yeah, don't get hurt.
Don't slide.
Get a hip or something.
Yes. So softball. It's October coming up, so you have Oktoberfest. We went to Great Fest. It's a wine festival here local. Yeah. And so just different things like that where you can go and kind of. The kids are off. I mean, there's literally nothing. They're gone. Yeah. So the only thing on our calendar is us.
Yeah.
Spontaneity too. Yeah. We did a lot of fun stuff always, but now Thursday night when we went to Grape Fest, I was like, hey, I think Grape Fest started tonight. Let's go do that. He's like, okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Or someone calls and says, calls and says, hey, I have concert tickets. Do you want to go? And we're like, sure, we'll go to that concert.
You're like saying yes to everything. You're like,
Yes.
yes, we can do that. Yes, we can do that too.
Yes.
Well, I think it's great. I think it's a great time of, again, we all really work in marriage ministry. So we're going to talk a lot about what marriage looks like as empty nesters. But, you get into this, this 18 years or however many years you are raising kids, and all of a sudden they're gone, and hopefully, you want them to come back and see you. But for the most part, they're not going to be in your world.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's your marriage again.
Yeah.
And I think we're blessed that we get to focus on that a lot.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people out there is like, I don't know how to be married. And we talk about, you got to foster your marriage when you're having kids and raising kids, so that you don't get to this point and fall kind of victim to that. I don't know who I'm married to, and I don't really know how to be married.
Yeah.
So what advice have you guys learned about empty nesting in marriage, and what would you pass along to anybody who's watching?
I think we started practicing empty nesting as the kids got into high school.
Yeah.
We intentionally made sure we were doing more date nights. We intentionally made sure that we had several vacations on the calendar for just the two of us, not just one.
Yeah.
Because, when we dropped our son off at college, one of the speeches they gave us, they told us that the statistic, and I don't want to misquote, but the statistic of couples that drop their kid off at school and sometimes on the way home from that drop off start discussing how they separate and divorce was insane and so sad to me.
Wow.
It was a much higher number than that. I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was telling us of a letter he received of some parents that had the discussion on the way home from dropping their kid off of how to start the process of the divorce. And to me, that was just so sad. And I think that was actually at one of the orientations we went to. So it was before we even launched the middle one off to college. So we started preparing in high school, making sure that we would not be that, starting having intentional conversations of what does this look like. We started some counseling sessions, make sure we're good before it's just the two of us. And I think, we made sure we were surrounded. We made sure we had our people around us, and that we all know what's the game plan.
we're young at heart too. I think that's one thing, is that we didn't want to lose us during parenthood. I remember having some people close to us, because when we started doing like trips, multiple trips per year, like just the two of us, and they weren't always big extravagant trips. Some of them were just, get away for a weekend type stuff. So Fort Worth, just get away for the weekend. And people were like, well, we try to take our kids, and include them and include as much. Oh, it's not that we don't want to include them. It's more that we want to make it to the, the end of this. And the end of it isn't 18 and they go to college. And I think that's where we saw so many, like those people that had that conversation in the car, that means there was probably a pre-conversation of that saying, we're going to get them to school.
As soon as we get this off the list, then we'll take it.
So they had already, it was predetermined. They had already made, they had made a goal. They had made a dot on the map that says once we get here, we go two different ways. And I think we said that, and we said when we get to this dot, we're gonna go do all these things together. And I think that was the difference between those two probably conversations happening on the car ride, because we cried a lot. We didn't talk much on the way home from school. Like all we did was just cry. But once we got home, then from Abilene until
there were no words.
Eastland, is it Eastland?
Eastland.
There was no words. Just
gutted.
Yeah. And then you get to Weatherford, and you're like, you want coffee?
And you're fighting the urge probably to call them and be like, hey, do y'all really want us to leave here?
I did. I texted Cabby. There was something she left in the back seat. And I took a picture and I sent it to her. I was like, oh, you left this. We've got to turn around and come back. She said, Mom, don't.
It was like peanuts. It was like...
It's some peanuts.
It was a can of almonds.
There was a half a water bottle back here, and I think you need this.
That is funny.
But that's what it was, the difference between those two car rides back, probably.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to touch on something, because I think we've seen that a lot with couples counseling. A lot of times, it's like when the kids go to college, like they're going through a divorce, and you've worked with a lot of couples that are trying to save it. And so the one thing that XO does too is the vision retreat. And I wonder how many couples where they make the goal and the vision is to divorce once their kids go to college. Like if you started creating a vision of what your marriage and family would look like after that, like how many marriages could be saved and how many families could stay together, because just because the parents send them to college and then divorce, they think that that's going to be the best thing for the kids. It's not.
No.
I mean, that we've dealt with college kids that are like, I don't know what happened. Like, everything was great, and then all of a sudden my parents, and then they're navigating this without their parents in adulthood, you know, in college, and it's even it's just so stressful for them. And so,
Well, I think a lot of kids really find their identity in those college years.
Yeah.
And so to have it wrecked so soon, and I saw it, can't even count how many times I saw it. To have it wrecked, being like, oh yeah, by the way, parents, we're getting divorced. Hope you're okay.
Yeah.
And just because they're not having to deal with that, you know, daily, they think that that's going to be better, or you know. But I love that you talked about the vision retreat, because the intentionality is really what it comes down to. It's the intentionality. Your marriage will not happen by accident. It will not happen by spontaneous combustion. You won't naturally just stay attracted and in love with each other. You have to intentionally work at it every day. And then we love the Vision Retreat. And if you're not sure what we're talking about, Jimmy Evans wrote this amazing guide. It's called the Vision Retreat. And we do this annually. So Vanessa and I, and I'm sure you guys do it as well, we take a trip, just her and I, and we get together and we pray and we really talk about the vision. The guide takes us through kind of, you know, where we are in different areas and where we want to go. And we look at last year's and we look at this year's and we say, hey, how did we do? Did we do better? But the intentionality of that, especially as it leads up to those empty nesting years, super important.
yeah.
Super important.
So what advice would you give to parents, you guys, that are like, the kids are going to college? I mean, I know we have one going to college, but we're not empty nesters. But for those that are about to enter to that, and maybe their marriage isn't good, you know, maybe speak into that, but also just any generic advice that you would give to.
I think counseling for sure. Start figuring out those points that need to be worked on and coached through. Vision retreat, excellent. We have EXO marriage conferences. Get to a conference; they're fun.
Oh, yes. Best day, 2 days for your marriage. It's amazing, you guys. We talk about it all the time, but yeah.
Now, I think from a lot, I have a lot of guys coming to me now. I'm in the middle of a men's study at Keystone Church right now, and a lot of guys are like, "How does it feel? How does it look?" And he goes, some of them are super excited, you know, great strong marriage, and some guys are, you know, I'm a little worried. Like, I'm not sure what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of like your indicator on your dashboard.
Yep.
Like if you have that light going off right now, then start doing inventory and start, you know, if there's an absence of intimacy between you, or if there's you're avoiding each other, if there's things like, you know, like whenever it's y'all alone, you avoid each other and you go to your side of the house and she goes to her side of the house, or you have different hobbies that aren't connecting. Those are all indicators that, hey, we need to harmonize this. And so I would say just watch for those indicators, and then Vision Retreat has a good way to reveal.
Yeah.
Boy, it does.
Because you're both writing out this vision of, you know, hey, where you want to get to, and when you bring them together and there's a gap, right? They don't overlap each other. Then you start talking like, well, how do we get a common vision for our family and for us? And so I think the Vision Retreat is one of the best things out there. It's you know, it doesn't seem like it's not a thick book, you know, but it's probably one of the most powerful, if you want to say, weapons that you can have for your marriage to keep it together.
Yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
Well, people today couples don't ask hard questions about their marriage. Like, hey, how do you enjoy being married to me? You know, are we enjoying each other's company? Are we, you know, is there something that you'd like to do that's more fun together? I mean, we just don't ask. We get too busy into what's Timmy's schedule and, you know, what's going on here and you know, getting dinner and baths and, you know, so all those things are happening inside the Vision Retreat. So again, I think this is maybe a podcast about the Vision Retreat and pumping that. And that's cool because that's a great tool. But I also, you know, we talked about the seriousness of it, but I also want to encourage people who are in this season.
Have fun.
It's supposed to be fun. You're going to enjoy this. You may even have a naked room. That's fine. You know, and if you do, that's fine. Doors open, windows closed.
Have at it.
And have at it. I think that there's a lot that you can do that's really fun. And you remember that God gave you a spouse to enjoy and to enjoy life with.
Yes.
Raising kids was a part of the testimony, something we talked about last week, part of that testimony, but you're also writing a new testimony. You're writing a new testimony of the example that you're setting for your kids in terms of a strong marriage.
Yeah.
But you're also just enjoying each other,
Yeah.
enjoying the things that God's putting in your life, the people He's put in your life, the opportunities, softball or whatever that may be. Just enjoy that. That's supposed to be enjoyable.
Yeah. No,
So,
it's good.
any last piece that we can give our audience who may be wrestling with this or maybe about to enter? Vanessa, what do you hope our empty nesters season's like?
Oh gosh. I mean, definitely coming from a house of all boys, like
There's not a lot of femininity in our house.
No.
Okay.
No.
no. And we have a lot of windows in our house too,
Yeah.
like natural light. Like even this morning, Scott was like, "Hey, the workers are coming to fix the stucco on the side of the house, and we have these 2 huge windows." I was like, "Okay, note to self: don't walk out there naked."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
type of thing. So,
So you're looking forward to walking around naked?
yes, I know that's music to your ears.
I'm telling you.
End of the show.
I'm telling you. I hear it. The symphony's playing. It's great.
No, but I think coming from a blended family, we didn't have we didn't really have that honeymoon phase of not having
No.
kids together.
We
We
there
don't
were, like,
don't
couple
know
weekends,
yeah,
maybe.
we don't know what life we haven't experienced that yet. He was an automatic dad, and I had been a mom for 6, 7, or 8 years at that time when we got married, and so I think I'm interested to see, and I'm excited to see what that's going to look like.
So when
all
we
the
got
boys were
married, we immediately got pregnant, and then 9 months later. So there were a few weekends
When
for
Michael
9
was with his
months
dad.
when Michael would go with his dad. That was just her. That's the only time
Yeah.
in 10 years that we've been.
Yeah.
It's not on a trip, like at
Yeah.
home and not had kids.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited. We talk about traveling. We love to travel. We don't do it a whole lot. I mean, we do take our weekends and stuff away, but we value our family time, and so yeah, I'm excited about that.
It's the possibilities. I think that's
Yeah.
what it's just. You're given this. I mean, I'm just trying to think now. What have we done? We're like, our new thing is zoos. So we like
Zoos?
zoos, like
We got a zoo
zoos.
membership.
Oh, zoo. The
Like a
zoo.
zoo.
You have a zoo membership.
membership.
Like you go
Yeah.
back to the same one.
But
We do,
no.
but also
You get 50% off across the nation
Hey.
at different zoos. And so now we were at we did EXO Kalamazoo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In Michigan, and so we were like, "Hey, let's check the website out." So we went to the website, and there was like a boulder or something zoo there, and so we went and checked it out, and
That's
it was
awesome.
fun. And it's just something that we can do ourselves, and it's kind of like our little thing.
Yeah.
It seems, and I was like, zoo, I guess, like,
Yeah, yeah.
we love it. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's something we can have, and we laugh and joke the entire time, and
Yeah.
you get some zoo popcorn, and pay $5 for water. It's okay.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to find out like I said, the opportunities are there. We can say yes to so much right now.
Yeah.
And we're just saying yes as much as possible so that we can learn what this next season is going to look like. I don't know if we've nailed it down. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know if softball is going to stick. I think zoos are going to stick.
Yeah.
But I think it's just going to be fun to kind of like test the waters and see where we go.
Well, and understand that the stage doesn't last forever, because then it goes into, then you move into like a grandparent stage.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that could happen at any time.
it could.
Yeah.
Yes, their oldest.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, we're excited. If you're in this stage or you're approaching this stage, we wanted to hopefully educate you on, again, the importance of marriage, but also encourage you that it's a fun time in your life. And we're thankful for examples that we have around us. We've got about 10 years before we are truly empty nesters. And then we can get that naked room and all that kind of good stuff. But, we're looking forward to
Just
that.
heard the naked. That's all.
Well, we are looking for. We are looking forward to
we
that.
are
Yeah.
looking forward.
It's gonna be
Yes,
great.
yes.
But we're excited for you guys. We're excited to be life partners with you guys and walk along this, and just thankful for your wisdom. And again, I think that if you may point you to a couple of resources. One, Eric's the COO of XO Marriage. It's an incredible resource for your marriage. Keisha also does marriage mediation, which I think a lot of people would really get into if they knew what it was.
Yeah.
It's really for those marriages who really need help and they need it immediately. So if you're interested in either one of those, you can go to xomarriage.com and check them out and look at all the resources that we've talked about today.
Yeah, and the vision guide resources on there when you look under their products, along with our book.
Yeah. Little plug.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for being with us today. Again, if you love this, please like, share, comment. We'd love to hear from you. You can send us an email at info@blendedkingdomfamilies.com, and we will see you next week. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Be blessed in all that you do.
Hey friends, so glad you were here with us today, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can find more resources from Blended Kingdom Families at blendedkingdomfamilies.com. Join us again next time as we talk about more blended family topics. Be blessed in all that you do, and remember, nothing will be impossible with God.